welcome you all back to the channel, and we are looking at a trailer for the next Total War Saga game, Troy. So we're going to watch the trailer, I'm going to take us through the FAQ, I'm going to give you some thoughts I have about this game, and this game in relation to Total War Three Kingdoms, and Total War Fantasy, and kind of some thoughts that have been jiggling around in my head. But we'll get to those later in the video. And if I ramble a little as I get there, this is unscripted. I don't do scripted videos. Without further ado, let's turn up the volume and go to Troy.
Rage, goddess. Sing of the rage of Peleus' son, Achilles. Murderous. Doomed.
I like the music. Okay. So we're getting dual animations like before. Pretty cool.
What are the children of men but as leaves that drop at the wind's breath?
Okay, so that was our trailer. Let's look at the map reveal.
Peggy 16.
In this age of myth, heroes walk the earth. Yet it takes only a single impulsive act to spark a conflict that will shake the world. Audacious Paris, Prince of Troy, takes beautiful Helen from her palace
As
in
ever, I
Sparta.
love the maps.
As they sail away, Helen's husband, King Menelaus, curses her name. He will bring his errant wife home, whatever the cost. King Agamemnon, wide-ruling lord of finely walled Mycenae, hears his brother's call. He summons Achaean heroes from far and wide. Among them, swift-footed Achilles and Odysseus of the Silver Tongue. All mortals' thoughts turn towards the high peak.
I like the
fog-shrouded
background
Olympus.
style.
Even warriors
Very
marching
Grecian.
to war and slaughter must seek the favor of the gods.
Okay.
While Paris and Helen flee east to Troy, a formidable Achaean army musters in the west. As Hector greets Paris at the gates of Troy, a wind from the west raises the dust at his feet. He looks to his brother and asks, "What have you done?"
Okay. Gonna turn off screen share and let's go take a look at the FAQ. A Total War saga, Troy will reconstruct one of the greatest stories ever told. Inspired by the Iliad, Troy will let you forge a heroic legacy in the late Bronze Age. Troy will challenge you to uncover the truth behind the Iliad, an epic tale mixing legend with history. You will peel back the layers of fable, gods, and monsters to reveal the truths that might have inspired them. In Troy, the fate of the Aegean civilization will be in your hands. Each choice you make will shape the lands from the mythical heights of Mount Olympus to the arid deserts of Lemnos. Experience history as it might have happened, or shape the legend for yourself. Okay, battlefields will tremble under the feet of renowned warriors like Achilles and Hector, but it will take more than brute force alone to claim the city of Troy. Deftly manage a barter economy, conduct diplomacy, and direct the beliefs of your people in the worship of the gods. FAQ. Okay, when will Total War Saga Troy be released? It will come out on Steam. Thank you for not doing Epic. Had to get that out there in 2020. Add to your wish list here. I have complicated thoughts about that, but I'm going to get back to it. What is the Total War Saga title? Total War Saga titles take the grand strategy and real-time battles of the core Total War games and channels them into intense flashpoints of history, letting you experience and ultimately determine the outcome of pivotal moments when the future of entire nations hung in the balance. With all the depth, features, and mechanics of a major title, Saga games offer a comparable number of factions, heroes, and settlements, as well as hundreds of hours of gameplay potential. That's an iffy claim. Thrones of Britannia didn't really measure up to that. Total War sagas are our chance to think differently in our designs, often leading to new ideas, mechanics, and perspectives that can go on to influence future era titles, such as the gradual buildup of troops in recruited units. You instantly get the unit, but it's not at full strength. I feel like that was actually done a little better in Three Kingdoms than in Thrones of Britannia. But moving on. Why did you choose Troy? Troy is a totally new period for Total War, and is the furthest back we've ever gone in history. I'm gonna come back to this because this is endemic of a bit of a problem that I think is in Creative Assembly Total War games. But I'll come back to that. This period is also one of the most distinguished and mysterious within human history due to it being rich in myth and legend of heroes and monsters, allowing us to explore a plethora of new ideas for our fans to experience. Food for thought, pin in it. I will come back to this. How did you go about your research to this period? Given that the Trojan War period is steeped in mystery, we took a unique approach to our research methodologies, using both mythological, after-period sources, such as Homer's Iliad, as well as primary historical sources, such as archaeological records. Merging source material not only gives us a more accurate representation of what the period most likely resembled, but also provided us with our core truth behind the myth design pillar. So what I'm hearing here, the sense I get is we're not going to get a classical and a records mode. It's going to be a single mode. Pin in it. Damn it, Z. Focus. One thing at a time. Why did you decide upon the truth behind the myth approach? The events surrounding the Trojan War are steeped in legend, with tales of mythological creatures, superhuman heroes, and the intervention of gods, all vibrant within this cataclysmic conflict. However, little is precisely known about the real-world events that occurred during the Late Bronze Age, with many of its kings, queens, and artifacts lost to the annals of history. As a result, examining the truth behind the myth of Homer's Iliad has become a key design pillar for a Total War Saga Troy, as we ask the player to explore the truths that might have inspired this Total War, this most cherished era. What role do the gods play? Gods in Favor is a new gameplay system for a Total War Saga. You don't need to say for a Total War Saga Troy, just say for a Total War game or for Total War Troy. Grammar, sorry. Oof. Similar to our truth behind the myth approach to mythical creatures, the Greek gods within Troy are purely spiritual representation, but they influence the game in similar ways to their Homeric counterparts. Rather than directly intervening within the conflict itself, it is the faction's belief that the gods are intervening on their behalf which determines the bonuses. After all, the more fervently a leader devotes themselves to a deity, the more likely their people are to espouse and live those beliefs. These bonuses are specific to each god and provide a range of benefits from strategic warfare buffs to growth and resource increases, which, huh. Mechanics that can play into future games. Do I spy Chaos God mechanics for Total War Warhammer 3? Possibly? Good. Uh, Moving on. Will there be any mythical creatures? Our truth behind the myth approach has allowed us to draw from a multitude of mythology's most renowned monsters and include them within the battlefields of Troy as realistic representations of what their true form may have been. Uh, okay. This approach has allowed us to expand the unit diversity by including unique warriors to the roster, while adding extra layer of tactical versatility to the conflict. Hmm. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. Um, Units with specific abilities, or I don't know. I don't know. How is battle different in Troy? There is a strong infantry versus infantry focus, reflecting the reality of the age, with greater variances in speed and mass between light, medium, and heavy infantry. Fighting will be dynamic and tactically rich. Many new active and passive battle abilities fuel this dynamism. Oh, cool! So we get new battlefield abilities to play with. I like. So elite defensive warriors may be immune to flanking, while elite assault troops might be expert flankers, increasing the negative effects of flanking on units they manage to outflank. Horses were rarely used; those that were used in combat were used to haul chariots. Consequently, battles in Troy require new, subtle, and not so subtle mastery of battlefield tactics. Which famous heroes will feature? Iliad features a multitude of most iconic legendary heroes with stories of their feats still regularly told centuries after their demise. As a result, we've included 8 of the most prominent from both sides, such as Achilles and the Prince of Troy, Hector. What about duel mechanics? I'm gonna put a pin in. I'm gonna read through this, but I'm gonna put a pin in it, and we're gonna talk about it. Total War Troy has its own unique take on hero versus hero combat, which ensures that these colossal face-offs are worthy of the Olympian gods. The new challenge battle ability taunts opposing characters into one-on-one combat, creating a circular area around them that prevents units from interfering. Heroes engaged thus will fight using a series of spectacular matched animations. However, the mechanics are more freeform than Three Kingdoms' lock-in duel mechanics, so heroes can be directed away from a challenge without penalty after the challenge effect has worn off. What about diplomacy? As with all games, Total War games, diplomacy will play a key part. Taking inspiration from Three Kingdoms, thank you. Troy allows you to keep your allies sweet, your enemies in their place, and change the entire course of the Trojan War should you choose to. We'll also be introducing new features. Watch this space for more information as we release it. I will watch. How will the economy work? Introduces a completely new multiple resource economy, which reflects Bronze Age setting. This economic system is a Total War first and reflects the advancing pre-monetary barter economy, which was galvanized due to the growing influences of trade and relations within the region. 5 different resources that are the building blocks of your empire are food, wood, stone, bronze, and gold. All can be found within different regions to varying degrees of scarcity. Food and wood are used to recruit early game units and construct simple buildings, but as the campaign progresses, more formidable structures will require stone, and higher tier units will require bronze, hint hint, armor, and weapons. Gold is the master resource and is vital for trade due to its universal rarity. Will there be naval battles? There is little documentation of Trojan naval warfare, but we know how important it is to our players. As a result, we've used the Curse of the Vampire Coast as our main inspiration. When 2 fleets clash at sea, they will disembark on a nearby island and settle the score in a land battle. As hinted above, armies dedicated in Poseidon's favor will receive appropriate bonuses. And what can you tell us about a Total War Saga? Troy's visual style, with stunning visual and a romanticized art style, which I know is going to piss some people off. Personally, I don't really care. Troy embodies an age of legend. You'll see this echoed through the campaign overview and user interface, which blends the Hellenic artistry of the Iliad with real-world representation of the Bronze Age Mediterranean. So, Like I said, I have some thoughts. First off, I'm a lot more interested in this than I ever was in Thrones of Britannia. I cannot wait to get my hands on this, and if I can find my way to getting a key so I can show you guys early access gameplay and geek out over it with you guys, I absolutely will do that because this is to me this is very exciting. I love historical titles. I love seeing the real world in Total War games. I have ever since I first sat down as a grasshopper with Medieval Total War 2. Way, 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 way back. So, what am I worried about? Well, to put it simply, I'm going to call it the fantasy dilemma. And what do I mean by that? Total War Warhammer Fantasy, as Creative Assembly has said, has dramatically outperformed their expectations. It's much more popular than I think anyone in CA really expected it would be. And I think it's much more popular than a lot of Creative Assembly players expected it would be. But with Fantasy's massive focus on legendary figures and solitary units, and then what I feel like that influenced the move to Three Kingdoms and the step backwards into a period where historical records are a little there's extensive historical records, but rather than rely exclusively on the record, Creative Assembly deciding to go as what to create a parallel game using the same assets with slightly different mechanics, aka the duel, based on a dramatization, the Three Kingdoms novel. Now, I say that, and don't get me wrong, I love Total War Three Kingdoms. I absolutely adore it. I think it's a ridiculous amount of fun. I love duels. I love the diplomacy. I love the economy and the resources and the interplay of those. But I'm also a history buff, and I like historical accuracy, and I like a certain groundedness of combat. Like, one of the things I loved most about playing Attila, where, every unit would have combat and kill animations. I would just zoom in and pick a soldier and follow that soldier, and I'm sure many of you did as well, and make a story about that one heroic soldier and be sad when they died. Uh, and I feel like I'm concerned that Creative Assembly is losing that from Total War. That it's becoming about myth and larger than life characters and heroes and titanic figures. And, it's complicated for me to say that because I look at this game and I already want to play it without having really seen anything or gotten to get any really detailed information. I look at Total War Three Kingdoms and I love playing romance mode. I look at the Total War Fantasy and I like playing as the Lizard Man, and I am right there with Party Elite and Milk and Cookies and everyone who wants to see a Total War Warhammer 40K. But when it comes to historical titles, I feel like we're in a little danger of losing the historical grittiness, I guess you could say, that defines a Total War game. So I'm going to put a pin in my concerns, but I feel like the next full released historical game, uh, I'm going to really be hoping it's set in a time where there is a lot more concrete historical data and historical record so that there isn't a temptation to fall into the legendary heroic character trap that I'm concerned CA is starting to skate along a little. But those are my thoughts. That's my little bit of pessimism and concern. I still love CA. I'm very excited about this. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts about Total War Saga Troy? Or as I'm going to call it for sake of wordiness, Total War Troy. Let me know. I'd love to hear your opinions in the comment section down below. Until next time, everybody, I'm Z here at Vucari-gaming. Now, see you guys in the next video.